Hi, my name is Cheryl and I am holding a gnome. Welcome to my channel Homeward Studio, and guess what we're making today? We are making Halloween gnomes. Anyway, this is a sign that my good friend Lacey helped me make with some scrap wood and a Cricut. And I just want to let you know that. Go to her channel if you have not seen her. She's amazing. It's called Lacey's Space, Lacees. Anyway, here's some gnomes that we're making today. We have the gnome sitting on a pumpkin, a baby gnome, this owl gnome, and last but not least, this little messy guy on the end here. I don't know how his beard got so messed up, but he's holding a bag and he's ready to go trick-or-treating. So this is what we're making today. And with all that said, come on with me and let's craft some gnomes. Okay, here's a whole pile of stuff you're gonna need. That pumpkin, all kinds of socks. I try to match the bottom sock to the top sock. You're gonna need some faux fur, beads, these little plastic shoes, some felt, embellishments, anything that you can think of that you'd like to use on your gnome for decoration. So also you're going to need some not socks, I already said that. Some rocks and some polyfill. I just have old pillows that I use right now. And I know I've shown you guys before how to make gnomes many times. I try to make them for every season. So I'm just stuffing this sock here with some rocks and some polyfill. And this is just going to be a typical Halloween gnome with arms and feet. He's going to be holding a trick-or-treat bag. And I'm going to make him pretty solid, I guess, pretty tall. And so after you're done, just tie it off. And then when I'm done, I hot glue the inside of it. I didn't show you here. Cut the top off with the scissors. And I always match the bottom sock with what the sock hat is going to look like and the beard. And this beard I got on Amazon. So I know I've told you guys this before too, but the way you cut it is you can use an X-Acto knife or you can use scissors, but just cut the top layer. Don't cut through the fur because it won't look right, it won't lay right. So just that top layer. And then you're going to want to pull it and get all the fuzzes off of it. And then this sock had, obviously, kind of the front of it was see-through. So that's where I'm going to put the beard, right on the front of that. And I measured it out, and we're just going to cover as much of that as possible. And I hot glue all four sides, the top, then the sides, and then the bottom, and get that stuck really down and good. So now we're ready for the cap, or the top. This is the top part of a Dollar Tree sock. And I'm just going to leave that unhemmed and just glue it on the back, but not the sides, because we're going to put the arms in there. And this is the top part of an old sock, not an old sock, a sock that I had that I bought from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to make the arms. So I've shown you how to make the arms before. You cut it, you fold one down, one up, and fold it up in the middle. Or you can roll them. Put a layer of glue in there, and then I clip them with my little handy dandy clips. And you just take the arms and you put them underneath the hat on the side. I'm not spending a lot of time on this because I usually do in my other gnome videos, so you can go check those out. I will try to link them up above at the end of this video. And now just find the placement for the nose, and just be careful that you don't get a lot of glue on the beard. You notice I'm always kind of like pulling the beard down, and because when the fake fur gets glue on it, it gets very messy. I didn't like how it was unfinished, so I'm putting some ribbon around that unfinished part. And this is Dollar Tree ribbon, and unfortunately you can kind of see the glue through there, so maybe choose a different ribbon or just don't put as much glue as I did. And that back just looks a little unperfect, and I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I'm going to put a button there. I do that quite often to hide up my little mistakes. And the buttons are from Dollar Tree too. They have a little plastic container of those. And this is the jute twine that I use all the time on almost all of my gnomes. I'm just making a little bow to close off the top of his cap, and I put a little bit of hot glue down there too to keep that cap closed, and a button on the bow. And then just gluing his arms in there really well. And then some more of that twine. I'm gonna tie a little, just not a bow, but just a double knot, so it looks like he has little hands and they're mittens. And then put a little bit of hot glue there so it doesn't unravel. And these are just pom-poms. You can use whichever color you like. I have the black pom-poms, so it kind of looks like little hands or little mittens. Just something different, I guess. And this is felt from the Dollar Tree, and these are plastic shoes, and you can find them in the baby bridal section area. And so I just cut a big square around, and I pull the back up and the top up and tuck it in, and then the sides last, and I put a huge glob of glue in there, and I do it for obviously both of them and let them sit for a while. Now I'm going to make a little Halloween bag. So just take a little bit of felt and make a triangle, and then just glue along both sides, and then just, you know, let the glue dry for a while. I mean, completely, because when you pull it apart, you don't want the whole sides to pull apart. You're going to turn it inside out. And so that's what I'm doing, turning it inside out. I trim off the top because it looks too big, and then I'm taking this strip that I cut, and then I'm just going to put it inside. I'm going to hot glue it inside for the little strap, the bag. This was a kitchen towel I had. I think I got it last year. The little pumpkin in there, I thought it was cute, and I'm going to put on the top of the bag, but you can put anything. Like I had that little, not squirrel, owl sticker. You can put that on the bag, but I thought this pumpkin would be cute. So I'm just going to cut it out and hot glue it on the front of his little tote bag, or his little Halloween candy bag. And I've made other gnomes too, where you can make little pieces of candy and stick them out of the top of the bag, but I'm not doing this one here because I'm making so many gnomes so many different ways. I just didn't want to take a whole lot of time on all these, but you can get as detailed as you want. You can put more embellishments on the hat, flowers, pumpkins, you know, whatever you have in your stash. And we'll just hot glue that right onto his little hand there. And then we'll hot glue these on, make it look like he's walking. And make sure you don't get that fur all wrapped up in there, because that glue will stick onto it, and it's such a mess. And also when you're crafting and using hot glue on black material, be very careful, because it does not want to come off, and you can see it, and it looks messy. Anyway, that's him. That's gnome number 1, and this is gnome number 2, and we are just going to make a baby gnome. And this is just a little black sock, and it is from the Dollar Tree, and I just made it the same way I made the other gnome. I put some rocks and stuffing in there, and I'm cutting a beard, And this hat I'm turning inside out, and I'm going to flip up the bottom of that and put some hot glue around that whole thing, so it'll give it a nice clean finish. There was a blemish on that side, so I'm going to turn it around and use the back. And again, you just pull the hat down. And these are just some little beads. I use them as noses on the little gnomes, and they have holes on both sides. So you want to take the hole and glue it down onto the beard, almost kind of in an angle. And then you put a little bit of glue on the top, and then you can pull the bottom of the cap down over that hole so you can't see it. It works like a charm. And these are the little arms. Because it's a little gnome, I am just taking material. It's leftover black sock material, and I'm rolling it up kind of like a burrito. Put a little bit of hot glue in there, tuck it under its hat, and you're all set with that. So on this one, I'm going to take a smaller bead. You know those beads that you don't know what to do with because they're really tiny, and I'm just going to pop it in there sideways, and be careful that you don't burn your hand. But I'm going to pop it in there sideways, make it look like a hand. And then on the other one, I'm going to make a little pumpkin, and this is a little orange pom-pom. And I'm going to find a stem, yep, a little teeny tiny piece of that jute twine, fray the edges, little teeny piece. A little teeny bit of glue on the end is all you need, and then just pop it in the top of the pumpkin. And then I thought it needed something else, so I went and found like just a fake flower, a little teeny leaf, and cut off a little itty bitty piece and glued it on top of that. And I have this ribbon. It's kind of a sheer black ribbon. It's really pretty. I think it's from the Dollar Tree too. And I just made a simple shoelace bow. And turned off the ends, and there you have it. Gnome number 2, and this is what I like to refer to as my little baby gnomes. They're quick and easy to make, and they're adorable. They're super cute. Super simple. Gnome number 3 is going to be an owl gnome, and if you go to the Dollar Tree, you've probably seen this owl sock before. I've bought them all. I have the pig and the owl, and I think there's a koala bear, and I've made gnomes with all of them, but I'm going to make this one kind of like the owl sitting on top of the gnome's head. So you just take the stock, take the sock and put the rocks in it and stuff it all the way up to the top of the owl's head. And then take some, you don't have to use this blonde colored fake fur. You can actually use mop string too, as I've done before. And obviously the same thing as the other gnomes, just glue the beard on. This nose I made, and I've made them before with a nylon, and you put stuffing in them and you tie it, and then you just glue it. And then I need to do something to put around the nose and the bottom of the owl, so it looks like it's a separate piece. So I'm going to take some of this, I think I got it from the Dollar Tree or another dollar store anyway. I'm going to wrap it around. At first I thought it might look cute if I put like a little stick, like a tree branch on there. Look like maybe the owl's sitting on top of a branch, which is sitting on top of the gnome's head. So angle that ribbon downward to give the hat some character. And that's what he looks like so far. And I thought, well, we need another branch and maybe a leaf or two. And then I started adding a flower, and then I thought pit berries might look kind of cool. So I got a whole bunch of those and started gluing them on, and then I realized, oh, it should have some feathers. So the feathers are from the Dollar Tree. These are brown. They look burgundy here, but they're actually brown. So I glued the feathers on the side, and then I thought it looked too plain. So I had a couple different kinds of feathers, and I have this white boa from the Dollar Tree. And they sell them in all different colors. And I thought that would give it some definition. So I'm going to glue a little piece. These things are really messy, let me tell you, but I'm going to glue a little piece on both sides to make it look like they have very furry wings. I have to say I've never actually seen an owl. I've seen all kinds of birds. We have tons of them in our backyard. We have a bird feeder. I love birds. I have never seen an owl. I've seen many hawks, you name it, but I've never seen an owl or an eagle, and I live in Michigan, so I don't know, maybe one day. Anyway, so I'm just embellishing him and put a couple other feathers there, and we're all set with that. So this is our last gnome. Same thing, put rocks and stuffing in the sock and tie it off. And this is just a sock from the Dollar Tree again. It's a hat that says Boo on it, and there's a black cat on it. Tied it off with the jute again. And I'm just putting his nose in. I believe that's a little nylon nose too. Sometimes with the thinner socks, I like to use the nylon nose instead of the bead because you can kind of see the bead up under the sock, and the nylon is more supple, so it kind of presses together with it, or it lays on it better than, you know, a hard bead would. And here's a different idea. So these hands, I just use the top of the sock, and the mitten part, excuse me, I'm losing my voice, the mitten part is a mitten. You just clip the tips off of it and then hot glue them on the end. And then one of these pumpkins they're really messy. I have glitter everywhere. I swear I can see glitter on my nose right now and on my face, and it's all over my hands and all over everywhere. Anyway, this is that fine orange glitter. So you just pop the top off of that, and I just glued the gnome on there. And then I made those shoes again the same exact way. And while they were drying, I took a little pumpkin here from the Dollar Tree, and I just drew a little jack-o'-lantern face on it, just with a Sharpie. And I'm just gonna hot glue that right onto the pumpkin, like by his leg. I didn't show you, but I glued his feet on there, kind of like he was sitting on top of the pumpkin. And then I glued his hand on top of that, like he was holding on to it, and that's it. That's the end of my video, and I appreciate you for watching if you made it all the way through the end. I tried to keep it under 20 minutes this time. But once again, please consider liking my video. Also, if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you are one, I really appreciate you. And anyway, with all that said, have a great fall season, a happy Halloween, and I will see you very soon. Bye!